Hi there, this is Tracy with Totally Trace. I am here live. I'm going to be showing you the Modern Christmas class. This was one that when I saw it, I don't remember if it's in the catalog or an online exclusive. Regardless, when I saw it, I knew I had to have this paper. And then through chatting with some of you, through seeing online comments, I realized this is a little bit of a controversial suite. It seems like it's a love or hate relationship. So if you're a traditional person, you might think, no, where's the red and green? But I look at this as super elegance, very blingy, and who wouldn't want like that kind of Christmas? So this paper is all gold, black, and white, and I'm going to be making 4 cards tonight. The kit, however, makes 6. So let me show you what I mean by the kits. And for those of you that have already ordered it, thank you so much. And I've got them all packed up, ready to go. And if you still want to order it, I would be happy to make some more kits for you. So here's the kit. It'll come to you just like that, this. And inside it, you're going to have 6 sheets of the Designer Series paper. So I cut them to 6 by 6 for you. Oh, there's the other one. I was like, there's supposed to be 6 in here. So it'll be that. And then you also have, oh, and I should have pulled out the twine. It's the black and gold and white and gold twine or trim. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but I love it. And surprisingly, I love the black and white, the black and gold, I'm sorry, more than the white and gold. I mean, I love them both, but this has turned out stunning on Halloween cards, Christmas cards, fall cards. I'm even seeing it for graduation cards. But you get 2.5 feet of each of those. And then your kit also has 6 envelopes, and inside the envelopes are all the supplies that you need to make the cards. And then I send you the link to this video so that you can watch the replay whenever or as many times as you need to. And I also send you a PDF with directions, measurements, pictures. All right, so let me get going. Let's see here. All right. Oh, hi, Carrie. Glad 2 days in a row you're with me. Glad you made it again. All right. So, as always, if you do have the kit and you're making this along with me, whether it's live or on the replay, I always recommend your step behinds because, you know, I might make a mistake or two, and that way you don't copy my mistake. And then, of course, I do my best on all the measurements in your PDF, but sometimes I make typos or mistakes, and I don't want that to affect your cards. So if you're one step behind, I'm usually pretty good at catching them. So in your PDF, I'm actually starting with card number 5. And the reason I'm doing that is just because there's a specific way we have to cut the paper for this one so that your paper is good for the rest. And I put them all in order, but apparently not, because that's not number 5. Maybe I put them upside down. I did. Okay. So you're looking for the envelope that has this. So it has white cardstock. It has the 2 black trees, and then it's got this fold, a circle, and then a label. And then the paper that we're going to need is this one and this one. All right, I'm going to set everything else off to the side. And like I said, it's the Modern Christmas Suite, and it comes with, the suite comes with this ornamental Christmas bundle. And then the best part about this bundle is definitely the dies. I mean, the stamps are great too, but there's nothing unique or special, in my opinion, on the stamps. But I love these dies. And then, of course, this will provide you with your Christmas trees and some great sentiments. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use this paper. And if you're following my measurements that are in the PDF, you want the stripes horizontal. And so your first cut is just going to be at 4 inches. So if you do that, everything else should work. And now on your PDF, it says layer 3, layer 4, layer 5. That's for these pieces. You're going to need 2 of each. So I'm going to go ahead and get those cut really quick. Hi, Jody. Hi, I think I see Gloria in. So Gloria, if you just joined, kits are, I know you ordered a kit. It is going out tomorrow. So you'll have it soon. Okay. So that's all we're gonna need for that piece. Now let me show you this fun fold because this is a unique one. I've shown it one other time. I learned it in my team's convention. So in your kit you have this white paper and you're just going to accordion fold it because you want it to close and open like this. Okay, and then I am just going to use my bone folder and really get these edges folded. And then this is one of those that like it's going to go underneath an encyclopedia before you send it to anybody. Right, it has so many folds and the thick layers. Actually, I think this is folding better than my card. All right, so here's what's going to happen. Your thinnest layer is going to go at the top. And this is just that plain cardstock. Okay, so not the folded one. This is going to go at the top. This one's going to go at the bottom. And then this is going to get glued in between. So I'm just making sure I've got that right. And then this one is going to get, nope, not there. It's going to get glued here. And this one's going to get glued here. So remember, make sure you like how everything looks before you glue down, and that's looking right to me. So I am going to get those layers glued. Just these two, because I want to make sure the rest of my card's right. So again, this is the Modern Christmas suite that I'm using. And then I'm using the kit that I created to make these cards, and you can still get the kit. The link is in the comments. And so everything that you see me doing is included. Like every time I open an envelope, you'll have that envelope with everything that's in it. The only thing that you'll need is inks, stamps, adhesive, that sort of thing. All your paper and die cuts are prepped for you. All right, so now let's put these on the inside. So like I said, they're gonna get glued right there. Okay, now we're gonna pull out the other designer series paper to go on the outside flaps. And look at this paper, I love it. So this one is not directional, so you can just cut it however you want. Like, I mean, it probably is supposed to lay that way, but does it really matter if it's laying that way? And again, it tells you the measurements, but you're going to do it 2 times because you are going to need both pieces. Hi, Ruth. And then hi, Lynn. Lynn, I don't remember if you have this one or not. I know you ordered the mega class. Look, I haven't even used this paper, and I love the black and white trees. But I'll be honest, this the gold stars, it's just such a nice neutral. And some of these papers are a little busy, and so I like putting this piece on it just to kind of mellow it out a little bit. But I do need to use these black and white trees because I love them too. All right, so there is our card base. And then on the inside, so of my original, I did stamp "'Tis the Season." Hey, Esther. Hi, Gloria. I did stamp "'Tis the Season," and to be honest, if I could go back and do it, I would probably put just like another piece of black and white here, just to make it look a little more finished. You know, hindsight's 20/20. I didn't think about that. Oh, Lynn says she's loving this DSP and bundle. Yeah, like I said, I think it's a love or hate. You're not somebody that thinks, oh, that's okay. All right, now on the back, I'm just putting glue here. So Esther has seen this design because she is part of my team, and she was part of the convention where we learned it. So, all right, now the trick with this is I'm just going to put it on its side like that so I can make sure that the top and the bottom, or really the sides, are all lined up. Okay, so now you can kind of see how this card's coming together. I recently made a card where I turned it this way, so open this way. Like you can see that this is, the possibilities are endless. In fact, I'm wondering if I want to turn it this way for this one. We'll see. So now I'm going to build up like that card candy, as one might call it. So these trees I cut right out of the bundle. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some embossing. So now I am typically not an embosser. I just like it. You'll see I'm bringing out all kinds of equipment for it. It's just typically not my style. But when you're working with this black paper, I mean, why not? Let's go for it. All right, so I am going to use the Christmas tree. And, oh, I was going to say, I've already lost my gold embossing folder, or embossing powder. There it is. Okay. So this is called the Embossing Buddy. Mine is, I mean, you can tell it's really old. I don't even think they use this kind of packaging anymore. But I'm sure they still have something similar. So I'm just putting a little bit of that onto my tree. And then I'm going to use Versamark to ink this up. And then I'm going to stamp it right onto the tree. I'm going to do my best to make it straight since it's not a photopolymer. Luckily, this tree, I've been able to do it pretty successfully. So, and then I'm just going to pour this on. And then, I was going to say, where are my tweezers? And I'm just tapping off the extra. And then I'm going to use my heat emboss tool. Oh, my cord doesn't want to stretch long enough. And I will say, while I'm not normally this fussy into doing this, I do love the effect. So hopefully you'll be able to see how it just kind of turns. Do you see it changing at the bottom there? It's like magic. See, I say I don't really like doing this. It's too fussy for me, but then I do it and I love it. All right, so I'm only doing one tree. And then, oh, I just hit my head on the my lamp. All right, so now I've got the circle punch. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer these. Okay, I'm loving the golds. I'm going to layer that just like that, and we'll glue down the one that's behind. And then we're going to pop this one up. Let's use a mini. I think I want it lower. Okay, just like that. So, see, I can put it here. Oh, I do like it going sideways. And then it would open this way. Or we can put it there and it open this way. I'm gonna have it this way because my original goes the other way. So I just like to switch it up a little bit. And then also mine has a star in it, but I'm guessing mine's still stuck somewhere in the bottom of the envelope. Let's see. There it is, yep. In your kit, you do have several gold embellishments. So if you're like, I can't find it, just shake out the envelope like I did and it'll pop out. All right, so I'm only putting glue on half of this circle because I don't want to glue my card closed. Okay, and I'm just gonna let that dry for a minute. And then this is going to get glued up at the top of the plane tree. So just a dot there. Ooh. Okay, and then we're gonna do our sentiment. So I'm gonna do wishing you peace and joy. And one of my long blocks. And I'm gonna just stamp it right onto that scrap there. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then we're just gonna trim this down. We're getting a little messy here, and somehow I have two glues out. Okay, and this is going to get glued right over the top. And so this one's already popped up. So here's what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a mini dimensional and put it there. And then I'm gonna put just a strip of glue across at the same horizontal line. And then we're gonna lay that right over it. And then we're gonna take this amazing trim and we're just gonna tie a tiny little bow. Okay, cut off the excess here. And then I'm gonna put a glue dot for it right there. All right, I lost my glue dot. Oh, it's still on the paper. Let's try that again. Okay, so there is card number 1. So it looks like that, and then it opens. And like I said, my original, I stamped "'Tis the Season" right in there. Okay, I love it. I hope you love it too. All right, I'm gonna get started on the next card. So now we're going back to card number 1. So if you're following along with the PDF, we are going back to the first card. I just wanted to make sure that you had the right measurements on this card so that the other cards you could make without thinking, oh no, I cut the first paper wrong. All right, let me get cleaned up a little bit here. Oh. Okay, so card number 2 is going to be this one. So let me get this one out of the way. This is a nice one too because it just sits up. Okay, get that out of the way. And so in your envelope, you have the embellishments, and then you have all of your cardstock ready for you. And then we're going to need this leftover paper from that first card we made. And then this paper, which I think is my favorite, but you probably know by now. It depends on the card I'm making. All right. So for this one, we're going to lay this paper here and this paper here. And then we're going to layer it with our designer series paper. Let me just double check my PDF. So, all right, so because this is directional, I'm going to lay it the way I want it, and it's going to be 3 1/8 is going to be the cut for this way. And then I'm just going to lay this on top just to make sure. Yes. Remember, you always want to be a step behind me so that if I have a typo in the PDF or I make a mistake, you don't make the same mistake. Okay, and then, sorry, just checking my other this measurement. Again, if you want this kit, it's in the comment section. You can click on the link, or I know I have a lot of my team members and fellow demonstrators on with me. So Esther's asking where can she find the PDF. So Esther, because you're on my team, you get this for free. So I will be sending that out to you soon. And then if you're not part of my team and you want just the PDF, you can click on that link, and I do have that option there for you too. All right, so just like that, I am going to glue down because I'm happy all the measurements look right. With some of this specialty paper, and I'll show you on one of the cards coming up, because of the gold foil-ish paper, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it because with this busy paper, it's not so bad, but you can see the glue lines sometimes. So one of the cards coming up, I'm gonna do it with, I'm gonna use my seal. Because with my original, I did not, and normally the glue lines don't bother me too much. Again, I feel like it's just a sign that it's homemade. But one that I made, it was a little obnoxious. So when we get to that card, I'll show you. Okay. See, that paper is so pretty. It does everything. Hi, Patty. All right, next. These are the labels from Branching Out. They're included in your kit, but for those of you that are watching, if you weren't sure where I got those, that's where. And then I'm going to use the Merry Christmas. I'm just going to ink it up with the Tuxedo Black. And I'm going to stamp this pretty much in the middle. And mine is about ready for some new ink, but guess what? It's sold out. I think I'm just gonna order another stamp pad. All right, and then these are the iridescent foil gems. You know, most of the time I give you a bunch of gems in your kits, but this is the only card I used it. So I just threw some in for you instead of charging you for like a set of gems. And then this is going to get glued down. I'm just double checking on mine. Just kidding. We're gonna put dimensionals to get it down. Okay, and then I have the challenge of the camera being in front of my face, so hopefully that's pretty straight. Yep, okay. And then same thing, this is just going to get glued right here, but we're only going to glue the left side so you're not gluing your card closed. All right, and there is card number 2. Whoops. All right, now that I'm looking at it, I probably should have made this come down a little further because that way I could have gotten more tree. Each piece is going to be a little bit different, so don't feel free to move that sentiment or move it more to the top so that you get more of your trees. But this is still stunning. I just love that paper. All right, I'm moving on to the next card. So in your PDF, it's card number 2 is what it says, even though this is our 3rd card that we're making. And let me show you the final product of what we're making. So it's that. These papers coordinate so well together, and you know me, I love mixing and matching the papers and using these layouts that showcase several of the papers. So I loved how this one turned out. So in your envelope, this is going to be another one where you might have some sneaky pieces in. Okay, maybe none of mine fell out. Oh, look, see, look at that tiny little piece right there. So I promise it's somewhere in your envelope, so just be careful when you're opening. And then on the back, they are white. So look, there's another one. And there's another one. Okay. So I'm not going to glue anything down yet. I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to lose these during the live, and then I'll find them right after. So I'm trying to keep them together. So I'm not going to glue anything down until I've got everything cut and I like how it looks. So this is the paper that I was talking about. When you're using this paper, you do not want to use glue because it shows every glue line. So this is definitely a one that you're going to use seal for. Okay, and then we're also using this paper. And let's see. It's non-directional, so it doesn't matter how you cut it. Hi, Giselle. Oh, Ruth, you're welcome. Yes, as many tips as I can give. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. Please learn from my mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes that I do. All right, and then we're going to bring back this paper in. I wonder if this one's long enough. Ooh, how about that? See, I feel like it just kind of tones it down a little bit by bringing in that one. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of play with it, make sure my measurements look right, make sure I'm happy with how everything goes, and then I can start gluing. So I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna glue onto here first. Oh, and remember, I'm not gonna glue this one. I'm just gonna use a little bit of the seal. And you know, when I'm using the seal, I gotta lay it down right the first time because it's not gonna let me slide it. Okay, see, no lines in there. I don't remember if I used this one. No, this one I must have figured it out by because I'm not seeing the glue lines in that one either. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to my glue now. I'm a green glue girl. Because I never get it on straight, so I like to be able to move it around as needed. As evidenced there. All right. I don't think I'm going to glue that one down yet. Let's get this onto the card. Okay, then you have, look, my stars are still there. I'm doing all right. In fact, no, I'm not going to glue them down yet. They'll still be there in a minute. So now I'm going to do the Be Jolly. So look, the only ink color you need for this whole class is black. And then if you really want to step it up a notch, like you could do a black circle here, and like you could do the gold embossing through everything. I did the gold embossing once. That was enough for me. Okay, and then we're going to tie another one of those little mini bows. All right, I feel like I've had a lot of Gormans pop up. Do I have like the whole Gorman family watching? Or maybe Patty, I'm just seeing you over and over again, but I could have sworn I've seen at least 2 other Gormans. Okay, just gonna snip that. And then again, we're gonna use a glue dot. Oh, look, they are being difficult today. Thought I had it and it stayed on there. All right, now let's see where I want this. I think I kind of like it on the lower ends. Okay, so we're gonna glue that. There's those trees again. Every time I see them, I think I gotta use those. And then I'm gonna pop this up. All right, and now we're gonna use these embellishments. So here's the trick. You do kind of have to be a green glue expert. So I'm just gonna put a dot of glue there. I'm gonna do it on the black first so you can see how little I really use. So even that is gonna be too much for the smaller pieces. So down here, I'm gonna do even less. So the tip is to hold the tip like on the paper and squeeze gently until just a little bit comes out. All right, and then, you know, you've got your fancy pick tools you can use, but again, that's too fussy for me, so I'm just gonna kind of drop it. right on there. Now, of course, you should know when I say that, like, oh, just drop it right on there. I have put it on there upside down before. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of slide him over the top. Yep. And then the last one, seems like they're all cooperating. Maybe I just jinxed myself. I think I did. See, upside down. He's going to make me get the tool out. No, there we go. And then I'm just going to leave it for a minute. All right, so there is our next card. All right, so we have made 3 now. Again, the kit includes 6 cards. I'm not going to make all 6 for you, but again, they're in the PDF, and you'll see why on the next one that I don't need to make all 6. All right, so here is the next one. And this is just like a little fun fold here. And there are 2 cards that have the exact same measurements. All I did was use different paper. So here's the other one. Okay, so this one I'm not going to make for you. You'll watch me make this one, so you'll see how it's done. But you do have an envelope that has all the supplies for this card. So I'm just going to set that aside and grab the envelopes. Okay. This might be my favorite card out of all of them. Okay, so we have the Fa La 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 paper, and so you can see this one, we're using this paper for it. Okay, so let me get this stuff out of the way here. And so on your PDF, it says card number 3, and then in parentheses, it has number 4. And the measurements are at the top, and the measurements are the same for both of them. Okay, so I'm just going to cut them all. I'm just making sure I'm in the right spot. Hopefully you're staying one step behind, because we're going to see if all of this works. Okay, so this is just a black sheet of paper. This is our card base, so it's not something that folds because you have this little mini card. So what we're going to do is your thinnest strip is going to go all the way to the left. Oh, haha, just kidding. It's going to look like that. Okay, and then this is going to go all the way to the right. And then this goes right in between. And this will go on top. Okay, ooh, I love this card. Okay, so that is looking good. So I am going to go ahead and glue this down just so I'm not fighting it the whole time. All right, so have I sold you on this paper yet? Are you a modern Christmas fan, or are you like, nope, I need to stick with the traditional? Okay, just like that. And then this one's going to go on top of the mini card. All right, and then you have this white piece of paper in there. Again, you can stamp on it. So, for example, in this one, I did stamp that Christmas tree in there. This one, I did not. So, again, these are your cards. You do them how you would like. Okay, Ruth is a Team Modern Christmas. And I find that the people that love the Modern Christmas also love traditional, but the people that love the traditional don't necessarily love Modern Christmas. Okay, and then we're going to glue that there. And again, I just like to stand it up so that I know it's level. All right, now we're going to take our star, and this is die cut out of gold foil, and this is one of the ornaments that is in the bundle. The dies in it are amazing. Oh, Esther says it's growing on her. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that to me. I think you met Gail last night. She bought the stamp set. She bought the bundle and was like, I don't think I like that paper. And now she wished she had gotten the paper too. If you guys just turn off Facebook, you'll never have anything on your wish list. All right, this star is going to get glued down. So I'm just going to put a dot of glue there, and then at each point, and then center it. And I'm just going to give that a second to dry. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dimensional right in the center of that star, because we're just going to create a little bit of an embellishment with this ribbon or twine. So I'm going to peel that off, and then I'm just going to lay it. I'm going to make a loop, push down, make another loop, and then you can do as many loops as you want. I'm going to leave it just like that, and then I'm going to cut off that excess. Okay, so it creates that like faux bow. And then in your kit, you had a long strip again. I'm using the Wishing You Peace and Joy again. I probably shouldn't have taken that off the block. Okay, and then we're going to stamp that. Ooh, I did not do a good job of making that straight. Let's try it again on the other side. I'm going to try doing it upside down to see if that makes a difference. I can see, I don't know why that makes sense, but it seems like I can see it better that way. All right. Okay, here's a little cheat for you. So I don't know if you can see, like my C didn't quite get it, so I've just got my black marker. A black pen works. Okay, my Y looks a little funky. I went a little heavy there, but. Okay, or you can just stamp again. But for me, I feel like this is handmade. Let's show it's handmade, because it doesn't look terrible. All right, now I'm going to put some mini dimensionals on either side of my star. So I'm just going to put one there, one there. And if you go further out, that's fine. In fact, I want to say further out actually worked better a little bit, but I've already made the commitment. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that ornament is just gorgeous. Okay, so let's see where we are. I think, oh yeah, there's only one other card. So I want to show you this card, and I'll show you kind of how I did it. So for those of you that have the kit, you have a start. But again, all the directions, and I gave you several photographs of how I started it. So this is a scrap card. I feel like everybody needs a good scrap template in their toolbox because we end up with so many scraps. So I'm just going to show you what I have. And remember, there was another card I haven't even made. So, but I've got all these scraps. And then I've also still have these huge chunks of paper. Oh, look, here's a scrap. And on these, the length doesn't matter. So all I did was cut them all the same width. So for example, you can see, and an inch, 3/4 of an inch, I don't remember exactly, but it's in your tutorial. So all I did was I cut them all down to that, and then I just started laying them. And again, I did not glue anything until I was happy with the layout. And then once I was happy, because you want to make sure that this part is the trickiest part up here, is getting something that doesn't leave a funky, you want it to end in a triangle, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So then once I had them all laying out, so this, again, this is laying like this, there's excess here. If this were fatter, you know, it might be laying like this. And then I'm putting all that on the white paper, and then I flip it over and I'm just cutting off that excess. So that's how you're getting that effect. And how I started it, it's in the pictures, but your kit does include, oh, right. So I didn't make that card. So this is what comes in your kit. So you have this ornament. Look at this ornament. I love this little detail at the bottom. And then of course the ornament topper that I cut out of foil for you. And then you have the outside piece, which is what you're building your scraps on. And the inside piece, so that, you know, of course we can't have a black card because you're not gonna be able to write anything. Although mine does, but you know, I'll finish mine off. Okay, so that is what your last card will look like. So all in all, this kit, you are making 6 cards. All right, if you would like one of these kits, I would love to send it to you. I think you'll have so much fun making these cards. I know I had fun designing them. I'm just gonna kind of lay them out here again. And then of course, if you are an embosser, like look at what that gold embossing does. Okay, so here's the cards. Excuse me. The link is in the comments. Again, I would love to send it to you. Hopefully next week you will join me again on Wednesday. I will be having my free card class. So I will share a template with you. Any supplies that you have, I promise this template is going to work. And you'll hopefully make some cards with me. I'll be making 4. You can make as many or as little as you would like. Those measurements do go to everybody on my email list. It'll be in my Sunday newsletter. And then it'll also be posted on Facebook in my event section and probably under the feature section. So hopefully I will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me. You have a good night or good morning, whatever it is for you.